Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Basically, this is the part 9th. So one of the person told that PHP basically mostly might not be independent. Basically, it might be getting derived from some software tools. Basically, that might be one of the person told that it might possible that Sunil Microsoft also basically might be created by some mainframe or basically the IBM computers. IBM basically also have there because assume that basically one of the person basically of IBM basically watched this video basically because IBM don't have time basically, so they will not watch this, but assume that basically they watched this video, they will think at least one time basically यार इसको तो बहुत कुछ पता है यार, he actually know lots of things basically, what actually the computer is, how the computers are created, up to what level the things are connected. So physical place basically are created. Now basically it comes to the power companies who basically passes the power supply, because that 100 city basically which is created the new version basically, that is going to generate what basically these all are the human needs basically list given to the power companies basically. So power company department basically they do their task basically, that this is the human needs basically. So for that basically one of the person to the how basically this gets created here basically, because without planning basically nothing is possible, right? In India basically who basically do the plans? So one of the person told the Mittal hai, Mittal groups are there, Airtel groups are there, then Reliance groups are there, they basically do the plans. But do you think basically they might be doing the plan? They might purchasing the projects basically, that this human needs basically we have to create. So how basically it is going to create? So that is basically the IITs groups, IIM group basically, who are basically trained by their professors basically, and that professor basically has created few books basically, and on the base of that books basically they do the plans basically, right? And their professors basically are connected with the doctors department basically. So IIT group basically simply do the plans basically. They also might not be knowing that basically the 100 new version basically which has created, that is basically going to create this all list of human needs. So one of the person किसको पता होगा यार ये सब basically. So few people told that basically top 10 richest men basically in the world basically, who is handling the entire human needs basically of the world basically. 300% might be knowing this basically, and they are basically ruling the human needs. So the person basically who are ruling the human needs basically, ruling the human needs means what basically? Ruling the human need means creating the human needs. So one of the person told us, सुनिए tutor जो है tutor basically is created from what basically? So few people told that basically it might be created from set of JavaScript basically. It might be created from some Microsoft tool basically. So that basically tutor basically is what actually? One of the person basically asked the question. So that tutor is also basically created from PHP or basically the mainframe or basically the C++ or basically from JavaScript. That each and every command line basically is connecting to the physical places. So one of the person told that the person who basically sold the tutor, who basically purchased the tutor, they might be knowing this every 100%. They might be knowing that. That's why basically the tutor cost is this much basically. Why basically tutor cost 3 lakh crore, 4 lakh crore basically? Who basically will spend 3 lakh crore? Yeah, basically to tutor basically. Why? Because it's connecting to the communication channel basically. which is connected with the physical places. So they basically directly basically got the authority to access that physical place. That's why basically they paid 2 lakh crore, 3 lakh crore, 4 lakh crore. So you can just imagine basically. So if he has purchased that tutor basically, he basically paid this much amount basically. That means basically he is access to the physical places. Microsoft basically can access to his place. Assume that basically Microsoft is created from 1,000 cities. So he basically have physical access to that particular place. He basically have physical access to the particular place basically. So one of the person told that physical access is also basically created by city creation. So here main department basically is of city creation. That is the IAS group basically, who basically are into the administration department basically, Indian administration department basically, who actually creates the cities. In that basically police departments are there, commissioner departments are there, legal departments are there, companies basically are there, businessmen basically groups are there, power companies are there, nuclear power companies are attached to that department, to that city basically. So you can give the city name as a department also basically. City name as a department also, because here basically we are talking about the physical areas of the PHP. So one of the person told that, yeah, we never basically watched this type of video in our entire life of the PHP basically. So here basically which I am telling basically that basically the framework department basically can't able to understand basically. Why? Because they might have watched this video. If they might have watched a video basically, if the government basically Indian government has given the permission to watch the video of this everything basically, then they can watch basically. Otherwise basically if they have not, they basically can't able to view the video basically. That is the Sundar Pichai, whatever name basically, he basically might not have given the access. So that basically other framework basic, because my video basically is not getting watched by the any of the people basically, that means the Tamil department, that is the Sundar Pichai department basically, he basically is blocking my videos basically. So that basically the symphony department basically, that is the symphony group, the cake department, that is the cake group basically, the Laravel framework creator group basically, they basically, and mostly basically half of the people basically are of outsider basically, because PHP designer basically are mostly from outside India basically, because they know PHP new version basically which is getting created basically, that is created on the base of 100 city. You will not able to believe it basically. Before PHP version gets into the market basically, lots of picture basically comes into the picture, lots of serials basically of the Bollywood group basically creates it. So you can just imagine it's a entire chain basically. So if any person basically takes panga with any of the top department, he basically will never get the job basically. Why? Because he has taken panga with entire group basically. So Bollywood group up to that level basically, they basically create the movies basically. So one of the person told that, yeah, कैसे create करते, how they might, because they only know basically the set of scripts basically. They know that basically this city is going to generate this 100 city basically new version basically is going to generate this all human needs basically. That's all basically. They have to do that only basically. They have to say that basically this is the human needs basically, which is getting derived from the PHP software basically. So one of the person told that, yeah, this is basically the video basically. So one of the person told that this is not only the PHP basically, you can add everything into this. So in next video basically we are going to see.